All right, so before I play this video, I would like to say good morning to everyone. Today is Friday, June 19th, and we're having a live lecture and a Zoom simulcast at the moment at 9.09er English Cabanatuan branch. And today's topic is IELTS Speaking, a guide to achieving a higher band score. And our first activity of the day is for you to watch this speaking mock test wherein this Asian person, guy, got a 5.5 score. So the assignment is for you to write down everything that you noticed that went wrong in the interview kung bakit naka 5.5 lang siya. So is it clear? Is the instruction clear? Okay, I'm gonna play the video now.
Hi, please have your full name.
Hello, my name is Jian Kim, and I'm from South Korea.
Yeah, let's start off the interview. Do you often stay up late?
Well, these days I really stay up late because I'm already finished the exam and I'm just playing mobile phone and also playing mobile games and doing stuff, so it makes me feel happy. But I know that it's not really good for my health, so I need to change this, you know, as soon as possible.
Okay. Did you stay up late when you were a kid as well?
Well, when I was in middle school, I often wake up late and like doing all these mobile game stuff those in those days. So yes.
Okay. What do you do when you stay up late?
So I really so when I was in middle school, I often play Overwatch and Battlegrounds, and it was really fun. I just play computer games at those times.
I see. What does it feel like the next morning when you stay up late?
It's really hard to wake up, and can feel those dopamines can and it really makes me wake it really makes me hard to do my entire day of those when I wake up late in that morning.
Okay. Next topic, let's talk about public transportation. What kind of public transportation do you usually take?
When I was in middle school and high school, I often use bus, but these days I really use subway the most.
Okay. When do you usually take public transportation? In your everyday life or when you are traveling?
I always take my transportation because my home is far away from the school and academy and like working stuff, so I always use public transportation.
I see. Do you think most people prefer public transportation in your country?
Yes, I think the most of the people use public transportation and prefer public transportation because it's really cheap and convenient, and those transfer system is really being well made. So I think so.
See. Will there be more people taking public transportation in the future?
Yes, because these days, like the inflation and those macroeconomic stuffs are really bad. So like people are trying to save their money. Then the best way to save their money is not buying a car, than using a transportation.
I see. How about the summer? Do you like hot or cold weather?
I prefer cool weather because when it's hot, then there's there's only one option, like just turn on the air conditioning. So I, to be honest, I hate summer.
Okay, I see. What about wet or dry weather? Which one do you prefer?
So I prefer dry weather because when it is really wet, then like it feels awkward, and when I just go back come back to home and taking a shower, then it's really stressful.
I see. What do you think about climate change? Do you think we can see the effects thereof in recent time?
Yes, I can see the climate change effects because when I was a kid, in South Korea, there's spring, summer, fall, and winter was really separate. But these days, there's summer and winter. There's no No, so
Nabilang niyo ba kung ilang beses niya sinabi yung word na like? Bawat, bawat pause niya may word na like, which is obviously unnecessary.
fall and fall and spring.
I see. Are you in the habit of checking the weather forecast?
Pardon?
Are you in the habit of checking the weather forecast?
No, I do not have the habit, so yes.
I see. Would you like to visit or live in a place with a very different climate one day?
Well, I really prefer like to visit the Antarctica. So like it's really cold and like people say that like there are no like 24 hours are like always with the sun. So like I think like and I can see those very cold weather. So I think like it's going to be awesome.
So let's continue with part 2. Well, this is going to be your part 2 question. Describe a difficult decision that you made and had a good result. So I'll give you a minute to prepare and then we can get going. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's start.
So my difficult decision, what I have made was when I was in high school, I took the chemistry one test in CSAT, as known as Korean SAT, and like this was the difficult decision because like most of the student in Korea study earth science and biology, so like earth science and biology has like lots of students, so like it was way easier than studying chemistry and physics, but I chose to study chemistry, and like it was difficult to problem solving the problem and like making a logic to get those answers. But it was really hard, but so I really struggling and tired of solving it. But at the last, in the day of the CSAT, I made a good result of chemistry, so it was really happy
Naiintindihan
and
pa ba yung mga words niya?
uh,
Diba?
it was really making me proud of me.
This is the part of the video wherein very unclear yung speech. And that creates language barrier between you and the examiner. So that's why, do you understand how important pronunciation is? The thing is, he already has a local accent, plus the fact that his speech is so unclear. So it messed up the whole interview. Nung una-una kasi medyo simple pa yung mga tanong. So naiintindihan pa natin siya. But towards the middle, you notice that it sounds parang he's just murmuring stuff. Okay? Pero tingnan natin towards the end of the video kung ano pa yung mga pwede niyang sabihin.
I see. Can you tell me a bit more about the chemistry that you had to study?
So the chemistry one has four big topics. So it has Avogadro and mole, and the structure of molecules and atoms. And the third topic was about some stuff, some kind of energy stuff, like when the electrons like getting out of the ground level and like those stuff. And topic 4 was about AC stuff. I think it was AC stuff.
I see. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get on with the part 3 questions. When we're talking about decisions and such, do you think advertising influences people a lot?
Yes, because like a few days ago, I watched some kind of video in YouTube, and like one influencer made his own shop, and he did not advertise at all, but so like the first, I think like it was like the first 2 weeks, those total sales were like totally disasters. So like, and then the influencer just like upload his picture of his shop on his, I think it was Facebook or YouTube, like, and then like lots of people find his shop and like buy stuff. So like his salary earning stuffs increased. So I think it's really important to advertise lots of things to lots of people.
See, who do young people like to ask for advice when they make big decisions?
I think the first priority will maybe is teacher, and the second will be parents because first of all, like teacher has lots of so teachers have lots of situation that like those know about those like young students priority stuff. So teachers will make a great solution for them, and parents will can take care of his mental advice. So I think teachers and parents will be their best options to get an advice.
Do you think it's necessary for kids to make as many decisions themselves as they can?
Yes, I think it's really important for students to make decisions because when they do not learn those decisions in the young age, then when they go out to society and being a grown up, and they will face lots of decision stuffs, and without those training stuff, it will make them hard to get a successful solution.
Do you think some people can make decisions without asking for advice?
I think yes, most of the people for like the C level, like CEO or like CFO, those people will make a decision just by oneself because when they keep ask lots of advice to like other people, ask for advice for lots of people, then those decision will be like has like too many options. So I think it will not make a good choice.
I see. Do you think young people are easily influenced by others when they make decisions?
Yes, because they really do not have those self decisions training systems, so there will be they will be influenced by lots of other people.
And what kind of decisions do younger people have to make?
Hmm. I think they will ask for his uh, dream. So, like for example, like when a student wants to be a doctor, like he will ask like, how should
I need to stop it there kasi kung napansin nyo, yung tanong, do you think students, pero in-address niya lang with a masculine pronoun, his, which is totally wrong. Pagdating kasi sa part 3 na ng speaking, more on generic questions yan. So, neutralize your pronouns. The subject, kung naka-neutral siya, students, individuals, people, okay, the community. Hindi ka pwedeng gumamit ng specific pronoun dyan. Kagaya nung ginawa niya. In-address ko yun. Pero okay, let's just stop the video kasi I think that's enough already. Okay, now I want to gather everything that you took note of
how can I
and we're gonna discuss it, okay? Who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
English mo or
Yes, of course.
I didn't take any notes
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like he's a little bit like me when I was
Okay.
is
Nakarelate ka sa nangyari kahapon.
one thing that I been proud of myself.
Okay.
I can speak clearly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, you have a very well modulated voice. Okay, that's an advantage that you have, right? Okay. Which is something that he doesn't. There's something wrong with his speech. It was not clear enough because certain countries, most especially in Southeast Asia, Vietnam,
Yeah.
South Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, hindi same ng alphabet. Sobrang different ng alphabet nila. And the structure of their language is totally different. Grammar-wise, pronunciation-wise. So, we can't blame them that they can't easily adapt to international English pronunciation. Unlike Filipinos, wherein our alphabet is very much similar to English alphabet. Isa yun sa mga perks of being colonized by the Americans in the past. I don't know though if there's a correlation between that. But anyways, we do know that that's the reason why Filipinos have an advantage when it comes to pronunciation. Pero medyo isolated case lang yung sa akin because I didn't have my foundation, my early years here in the Philippines. I actually studied abroad. Where she's going to Greece.
Oh.
I lived there for 7 years. Hindi magaling mag-English yung mga taga-Greece, ah. Not everyone. Yung mga elite, ganun, pwede. Pero yung mga normal Greeks, hindi mo sila makakausap ng English. Expect mo na yon, ha? But the thing is, iba pa rin ngayon kasi you Gen Zs, definitely you have better language acquisition compared to us millennials and the boomers. Okay? So, ako kasi, I studied in an American academy wherein yung mga teachers namin talaga Americans, British. Kaya na-adapt ko because I was there at the age of 4. That's why early stage in childhood is really crucial when it comes to language acquisition. If you want to develop all the skills, especially pronunciation, you gotta train them young. Okay? I was multilingual at the age of 5. That's why wag niyong i-compare yung progress niyo sa akin because definitely isolated case ako. And in the Philippines, you can't really expect everyone to sound like this. Okay? What I'm saying is the problem with the guy is the environment itself. That's why I'm highly emphasizing the fact that you have to immerse yourself in English. Kasi not everyone in the Philippines speaks English on a daily basis. Let's start in your home. Sino ba yung nag-i-English sa bahay nyo? Naririnig nyo ba yung English every single day? Frequently we do. Sa media, sa social media, we watch reels, videos, and all that. But if, as I said earlier, pag nagbabasa ka lang at nakikinig ka lang, but there's no practical application of the language, it's not easy to progress. You really need to use it on a daily basis. You have to immerse in it, okay? If it takes 3 months for you to accomplish your IELTS review, you have to maximize every single day of those 3 months. Meaning, every single day, you have to practice speaking. I know it's not an easy habit to build, but habits are buildable. You can start today. Start small, okay? Baby steps. Intimidating kasi talaga when it comes to thinking of the bigger picture. Band 7 yung kailangan ko. Band 8 yung kailangan ko. Band 6 yung kailangan ko. I need to improve my speaking. That's very overwhelming and intimidating. But if you focus on the little steps that you could do towards your goal, that's when you build it up every day. Okay? You have to put credit on those little efforts that you make. As long as it's consistent and as long as you're aligned to your goal. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes may araw talaga na tatamarin ka. May araw talaga na you need extra push. But if you're fully committed to getting that band score, nothing's gonna stop you. I can attest to that because I promised myself I'm gonna have a baby soon, okay? That's my highest motivation right now. That's why kahapon, ito totoong kwento to. I was here kahapon. How many students nagpa-coaching? 10. There were 10 students. Hindi ako kagaya nung setup ni Sir Kevin na 10 minutes it's done. I usually take time, 20 minutes or more, because I really want to assess and give you the feedback that you had for the performance that you made. I'm not saying na mali yung kanya at tama yung sa akin. It's just my way. That's how I want to coach, okay? Iba kasi si Sir Kevin, talagang ano na siya, veteran na siya in IELTS. Kaya niyang ibigay sa'yo yung assessment in a snap, okay? Ako kasi different yung style ko. And then, pag uwi ko, as in biyahe lang yung pahinga. I had online classes pa. Until what time? 10:30. I still squeezed in yung kailangan kong daily steps. Kasi may goal ako na daily steps from my coach. Hindi pwedeng bumaba ng 10,000 steps ang steps ko per day. In order for me to hit my goal, which is yung sinabi niya sa akin kilogram. And then, aside from that, may deadline pa akong mga reports. I was going crazy yesterday. But then I pushed myself. Kaya pala. It's all in the mind. If you tell yourself you can, your actions will align towards your goal. Ang ginawa ko lang, I showed up every day. Hindi ko napapansin, it's working. I'm progressing. Kasi I made little steps towards it. Kaya don't pressure yourself too much. Just make little steps. Pag naka-adjust ka na ng 1 week, dagdagan natin ng extra 10 minutes. Kagaya ng sabi ko kanina. Start with 30 minutes speaking English every day. Stay consistent for a week. Now, when your schedule and yourself is adjusted to the 30 minutes, mas ma-challenge ka pa. Kasi nature nating tao na ma-challenge. So, dadagdagan mo siya. Sa second week, dagdagan mo siya ng 10 minutes. Ngayon, magpa-practice ka ng speaking 40 minutes a day for a week. If you feel like adding 10 more minutes to that is overwhelming, then just add 5. So, sa third week, meron ka ng 45 minutes of practicing English every day. It's not how long it takes you to practice, but it's you creating a habit and putting the system in your mind. Because language is about adding that system into your brain. Because it all works in the brain, okay? When you think in English, you start speaking in English. And as the weeks progress, you also level up. So, hindi instant ang from band 5 to band 7, hindi yun instant. It takes effort. And it takes one tiny decision for you. Okay? Don't compare yourself to other people's progress. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng strengths and weaknesses. And you have to acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses. Never compare yourself with other students, okay? So we will start by the first mistake. The first mistake is memorized answers. I've encountered numerous students, alam na nila, na-anticipate na nila yung mga tanong sa task 1 or part 1 of your IELTS interview. Kasi very common eh. Tell me your complete name. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your career. Tell me about the future major that you're opting to take. You can easily memorize those. But you should not. Yes, pwede mong i-memorize yung name ng university na applyan mo, na papasukan mo, yung name ng company that you're eyeing for to get into. Importante kasi yung names. Of course, if you don't know the name of those establishments, institutions, you won't sound competitive. But what I'm asking you to do is not memorize the structure of sentences. Because anything memorized will sound robotic. And that's why it's also connected to being monotonous. When you're monotonous, you also sound robotic, even though it's not memorized. They go pair in pair, hand in hand, okay? So, kailangan, we need to build spontaneity. Spontaneity is being able to use different kinds of intonation in speech. Because after 5 minutes, nabore na kayo sa video. Ayaw niyo na siyang pakinggan. Why? He was monotonous. Did you notice that? He was monotonous?
Like me.
He sounded like a robot. Diba? Iisa lang yung tone. Depende din kasi yan sa personality ng tao. Because, let's say, me, I'm a very animated person. Like, if you see my reactions, this is it. This is the genuine reaction that I have. Ganito talaga ako. But there are people with neutral reactions or poker face na tinatawag. I don't blame you kasi baka ganyan ka talaga. Yan yung personality mo, yan yung kinalakhan mong kaugalian. But the thing is, in expressing yourself, you need to add emotions. Because if walang emotion yung sinasabi mo, yun din yung mare-receive na message ng kausap mo. So let's say, when you're texting, chatting, walang emotions yun eh. Ngayon pwede na kasi may mga emojis. But the other person can hide their true emotions behind the text, behind the device. Kaya yung iba, mas prefer nila call. They don't like texting or chatting because they wanna communicate their feelings genuinely, diba? But this time, it's a video setup. Pag dito kayo nag-take ng exam, it's a virtual interview. Face-to-face, live. Kung ano yung reaction mo right now, yun din yung ma-receive ng examiner. And the number one thing that they hate the most is for test takers to appear robotic and to sound monotonous. So if you're going to make that mistake, 2 minutes pa lang, pagod na siyang pakinggan ka. There are times whenever I'm in the coaching room at ganun yung student, hindi na rin ako makafocus. Pinipilit ko na lang yung sarili kong mag-focus. Pero pag ganun yung sound niya, I easily lose interest. Ikaw, I know it's because they speak in English. Pero kung kakausapin ko sila ng Tagalog, iba din naman. Now, the way for you to fix that is the form of your mouth. Okay? Number 1, add emotion. Show genuine emotion. Be spontaneous. Number 2, smile when you speak. There's a big difference when you smile when you speak and when you don't. Let's say the question is, do you enjoy traveling? That's a question. I would answer first. Magbibigay ako ng example ng hindi nakangiti. Yes, I enjoy traveling. I like it. I like going to the beaches and to the mountains. Yun yung sagot ko ng hindi nakangiti. Now, look at the difference. Listen to the difference when I start smiling. Yes, I love traveling. In fact, I love going to the beaches and to the mountains. What did you notice? The first one,
Done.
very dull. Actually, yun yung feedback na bibigay sa inyo ni Sir Kevin. I don't use such words kasi I feel like it hurts people's emotions. Pero si Sir Kevin, he's so straightforward. He's gonna tell you right there and there, your performance was dull, uninteresting. Ganun siya ka-frank. But it's okay kasi minsan kailangan natin yun. Kailangan natin ng push, di ba? So, it was dull. lack of emotion. But when I started smiling, it was full of enthusiasm. Sino namang kausap ang gaganahan kapag dull ka kausap, 'di ba? Examiners are humans too. They have feelings too. So we have to consider that fact, okay? Speak naturally and flexibly. When we say naturally and flexibly, if the topic requires you to be emotional, syempre hindi ka naman magsasmile kasi nga ang topic, what is the most unforgettable moment in your life? Eh, ang una mong naisip yung namatay yung lola mo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those. It's not a joke, okay? I'm not intending it to be a joke. Death is a very sensitive topic, pero it's just an example. The most unforgettable moment for me was when my mom passed away. Syempre, hindi ka smile nun. Aakma mo na syempre yung expressions mo, depende sa sinasabi mo. And yung tone mo rin, di ba? It's a full package. Your pronunciation, your intonation, your pitch, variation of tone, depending on the topic. Kaya nga sabi, speak naturally and flexibly. Hindi porket sabi ni ma'am nakangiti ka all throughout the interview, eh lahat na lang ng topic mo kahit sad, nakangiti ka. Syempre, adjust to the situation. Okay? And I didn't notice naman that he was memorizing any of his answers sa interview kanina, but we did notice that he sounded robotic kasi he was monotonous. May certain rhythm siya kanina. Why? Because he kept inserting the filler like. Tuloy, naging very stagnant yung rhythm niya. Mistake number 2, napaka-obvious sa ginawa niya kanina, short answers. Ano napansin nyo? Dahil sa dami niyang short answers, ang dami rin tinanong sa niya. So, sa task 1, maraming magtatanong sa inyo. So, ano ba ma'am yung dapat na number of sentences? Ano ba ma'am yung dapat na length? 1 minute ba? 2 minutes ba? I'm not gonna answer that question. You know why? Pag sinabi kong 3 to 4 sentences kasi standard eh. 1 minute sana para alam mo yon 4 minutes kasi yung part 1. So kung naka 1 minute ka sa bawat sagot mo, 4 lang yung itatanong sa'yo. Hindi yun yung isasagot ko sa inyo. Why? Kasi mafi-fixate na yung utak nyo. Sabi ni ma'am, 3 to 4 sentences. So ngayon mag-iisip ka, naka 3 to 4 sentences na ba ako? Teka, naka 1 minute na ba ako doon? The more you think about it, the more stressed you will be. And that's the least that we want to happen. Kailangan less thinking pagdating sa speaking test. Okay? Hindi ka dapat masyadong nasistress kung ilang sentences ba. Pero may ituturo akong formula. Mamaya, lalabas yun sa slideshow. Avoid one-word replies. Are you currently working or studying? Yes. Ano yon? Diba? It's either working or studying. So, dapat, I'm studying right now. Wag naman yung ipaparot mo yung examiner, I'm currently studying. So, pagdating sa mga ganong situations, make sure na hindi na antayin na mag-follow-up question pa si examiner. You have to back it up with substantial details such as
Major.
yes, if you're going to apply for student visa. And if you're applying for a job, you're going to say what specific job that is. Now, if you don't have a job that you're applying for yet, you can just be honest and say that I'm currently processing the documents that are necessary to go abroad, but I don't have a clear plan yet as to what I'm going to do because my family lives there and I'm just planning to migrate and test the waters. Probably, ganun na. And isa pa pala. I was thinking of saying something, but it slipped. Okay, expand your answers. Sige, dito ko na sasabihin yung REE. I did mention REE before. Narinig nyo na ba yun sa akin? R stands for response. E is explain or reason out. And E, the last E, is example. Full package na yung sagot mo pag in-apply mo yung REE method. Why? What genre of music are you into? I'm into pop music. I love it because I'm a very happy person and I enjoy upbeat music, especially when my friends and I go to the bar or when we're at the beach and we go bar hopping. There's a very famous place here in the Philippines called La Union, Philippines, where party goers are usually at. So every summer, I'd go there and party with my friends. Complete ba? Yes. May REE ba?
Meron.
Yes. Did it sound like I memorized it? I actually just thought about it right now. So, ganun lang din yun. Now practice. Don't write anything. This is the question. Bumuo kayo ng sagot sa isip nyo using REE. The question is, what is an ideal family vacation that you have in mind? Let me repeat the question. What is the ideal family vacation that you have in mind? I'm giving you a minute to think of an REE. Kung gusto mo bukas. Just kidding.
Deal.
Sa mga nasa Zoom, I will also call on names, so be ready. Parang ready tong si Valerie. Valerie, ready ka ba to answer that question using REE? Would you like to? Or anyone from the group? REE stands for response, explanation, and example. This is the method you use to make sure na sapat na yung sagot mo para maiwasan ng short answers. Okay. Sino dito sa room gustong sumagot first? Tricky tong question na to, so gusto kong malaman kung talaga bang napag-isipang mabuti yung sagot. Anyone? Feel ko gusto mo i-try. John.
Bilang ka? Ideal vacation.
With your family.
Narinig din po ako sa group.
Yeah. Kanina pa. Pero don't worry, ni-record ko siya nung nag-start lang ako mag-play. So, yung mga chika, not recorded yon. Don't worry, hindi yun ma-upload sa YouTube channel ko. Okay? You ready? Or do you guys need a little more time?
You can print my membership.
You're not supposed to read it. You're actually supposed to prepare for a speaking answer. Okay, habang nag-iisip pa yung mga nandito sa room, magtatawag ako ngayon since walang nag-volunteer. Okay, how about you, AJ? Would you like to answer the question? AJ, are you there? Yes, are you ready to answer the question? Hindi ka namin marinig. Hello? Ba't hindi natin siya marinig? Okay, iba na lang. How about you, Reina? Ikaw naman, Reina. Hello?
Hi, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good
Yan,
morning.
narinig natin ang audio ni Reina. Hello! Hindi na tayo
I will just
nagkita
try. Yeah, next week, ma'am. Pupunta ako.
Okay, sure. You have to have your final coaching before you take the test, right?
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Okay, naririnig niyo ba si Reina right now? Hindi masyado, no? Valerie, yung tanong mo, what do you mean hindi sunod-sunod yung answer? This is a speaking test. Hindi ka pwedeng nagsastutter at nagkakaroon ng long pauses. So, dapat sunod-sunod, okay? So, yeah, chronological order, if that's what you mean. REE, chronological order. Okay, so Reina, I'm giving you the floor. You may begin.
Actually, it is my dream to tour my family in Hong Kong Disneyland. Since I have 3 kids, I want them to experience and witness the different attractions in Disneyland. And to meet also the famous Disney characters because growing up as a child, I am also a fan of Snow White, Aladdin, and other famous characters. And it is a dream come true for me if I will be able to visit Hong Kong Disneyland together with my family.
Okay, let's give it up for Reina. Ang ganda ng sagot niya. Nagbigay siya ng direct response, which is, ang ideal niyang vacation with family is in Hong Kong Disneyland. Pumili siya ng specific place. Kasi ngayon, pag bigla kang pumili ng Japan, sasabihin mo Japan. A good answer though. Pero hindi siya masyadong specific. Ang daming lugar sa Japan na parang bigla kang malilito, saan sa Japan? Ano gagawin namin sa Japan? Pumili siya ng isang specific place na mabubuo na yung thought sa isip natin. And gumamit siya ng future tense. Kasi ang tanong is hypothetical. When we say hypothetical question, it means hindi pa siya nangyayari pero pwede siyang mangyari. For example, if you were the president of the country, what decision would you make about the price of oil? Ganyan. Hypothetical siya kasi hindi ka naman president. Pero kung ikaw nga si president. So, ang gagamitin nating verb tense ay future tense. Okay? So, tama yung sagot niya. Nagbigay siya ng example sa kung anong gusto niyang gawin sa Disneyland. Yes, Valerie, I answered your question. Chronological order. Ngayon, sino pa yung ready? Feeling ko kaya ni... What's your wife's name again?
Angela.
Angela. Anne. Tama ba? Yes, okay. Si John, si Anne, Raya, and Mello.
Ideal family vacation with families, camping or hiking in Sagada. I prefer Sagada because of the cold weather, and my family, my husband and kids love cold weather, so that we can bond together. Around the bonfire,
Mm-hmm.
talk about life, what they're up to, or what they're currently love doing at the moment, their plans. We can also climb the mountains, explore the caves, and relax and enjoy the weather.
Okay. Maganda yung binigay niyang sagot. She gave a direct answer. Nagbigay siya ng specific place and activities that she could do with her family there. And complete naman yung sagot niya. But she was reading it. So it didn't sound spontaneous. It didn't sound natural. If you thought na hindi ko papansinin yung mga bagay na yon, I'm sorry. Pinapansin ko lahat, okay? Anyways, who else wants to give it a try? Do you want to give it a try, John? I feel like you want to.
A little bit embarrassed, but
It's
here
okay.
it goes. My ideal family vacation is with my complete family and my extended family, my parents and my siblings and my wife's parents, and my in-laws and my wife's siblings. Actually, we've been there before. We booked a villa in Baler, Aurora. So the villa has a large house that I think it had 7 rooms, which we are very amazed by the house. I mean the house, and it has a large swimming pool. My in-laws prepares us food. We cook and all the men's grill and set up our barbecue and beverages like the beers and cold drinks. And at night, that's why it's very memorable for me because I think it's one of my happiest moment of the because when we done when we been there, my eldest graduation treat for them. So at night we share some stories. We play some saying some card games and we do charades and we gossip a lot.
Okay. Thank you so much, John. Alam mo, napaka-chill naman ng bakasyon na yon. Gusto ko din. Kasi ang tagal na namin hindi nagbabonding. My mom used to be the initiator, but she passed away, so it's okay. Maybe in the near future. Now, what are my comments about John's answer? First of all, the question was, what is your ideal family vacation? Okay naman na nagbigay ka ng background story that it already happened and you want it to happen again. But masyado kang nag-focus sa nangyari sa nakaraan. You forgot to mention what really you want to incorporate in the
The next.
future. Okay? Kasi balik tayo dun sa pinakatanong. Okay? What is the ideal vacation? So, okay lang naman sabihin mo yung konting background about what happened in your recent or previous family vacation, pero konting intro lang yun dapat. Kailangan mag-focus ka pa rin sa gusto mong mangyari sa mga susunod niyong family vacation, okay? Isa pa sa mga napansin ko, medyo unorganized. Kasi kailangan inuna mo sana yung part na it was my kid's graduation, so we had to celebrate, ganyan, para may context. Unahin muna natin yung context and then para mas organized. Now, another thing, he mentioned Baler Aurora. It's a famous place in the Philippines and most Filipinos know where Baler Aurora is and what are the perks of going there, which is surfing. And Mother Nature Falls. Mother Falls. Dinagdagan ko ng name, Mother Nature Falls. Mother Falls, di ba? However, to a foreigner, they have no idea what Baler Aurora is. So if ever you attempt to mention any place in the Philippines, you have to give a short description of that place. Unless it's an international place, like
Disneyland.
I want to go to Disneyland, I want to go to Japan, I want to go to Paris, France. That's internationally known by everyone. But if you say Baler Aurora, the person you're talking to does not recognize that. So you have to say that Baler Aurora is a province in the Philippines. It's one of the most famous surfing spots in the country. And it's just 2 hours away from our place, so we would easily go there anytime we want to. Ganon, okay? Pero ang maganda naman sa sagot niya, bigyan naman natin siya ng ikaka-boost ng confidence yan. Baka naman sabihin ni John mo siya, kahapon ka pa, mama. Diba? So, that's actually what I was gonna say. Whenever he gives an answer, it sounds so assertive. When we say assertive, you're so sure of what you're saying and you have confidence. Isa yun sa mga gusto kong magkaroon kayo pag nasa interview na kayo. Hindi yung, my ideal vacation is... Alam mo yung nahihiya-hiya. Walang masama sa pagiging mahiyain, demeanor nyo yun, but you have to sound confident. The thing about confidence, it's something that you build up through time and experience. So kung hindi nagpapa-coaching, wag nang magtaka kung ba't di ka nagiging confident sa speaking interview mo. Kasi nga, you're not experiencing it over and over. I actually believe that when you experience something again and again, your familiarity to that specific activity builds up and your confidence also builds up. Okay, now let's move on to mistake number 3. Grammar errors. Okay. Good news! Kasi hindi ganon ka-particular ang mga examiners pagdating sa grammar errors sa speaking. Take note of that, speaking. Hindi sila ganon ka-metikuloso. Unlike sa writing, na bawat kibot, mag-iiwan ka ng evidence ng mali mo. Sobrang importante ng grammatical accuracy sa writing. Because you're literally leaving evidence of your mistakes. Punctuation, spacing, capitalization, grammar, subject-verb agreement, preposition use, articles, determiners, the use of those. Pag nagkamali ka lang ng konti at na-accumulate yon, it will drag down 25% of your score in writing, which is allotted for grammar accuracy. Okay? So, very important ng verb tenses. Kaya yun yung una kong pinansin kanina sa sagot ni Reyna, di ba? Sabi ko, tama yung verb tense na ginamit niya kasi ang tanong is requiring her to answer about the future. So, ang gagamitin niya future tense. Ang ginamit niya is present tense kasi kinikwento nga niya na nangyari na yung bonding na yon, okay? So, be careful with that. Prepositions. Ninote ko talaga dito, be watchful of prepositions kasi kahapon, isa yan sa pinaka napansin kong problematic area ng mga candidates nowadays. Ang paggamit ng preposition. Did you know that just a tweak with your preposition use, it changes the holistic meaning of what you're trying to say? Sino dito nasa online session ng Wednesday? Yeah, it was vocabulary and it was phrasal verbs. Yung sabi ko yung the verb and the preposition. Yeah, nandun kayo sa online class. The verb and the preposition, when combined together, they make up a phrasal verb which function as an expression in a sentence, okay? So, the thing is, pag binago mo yung preposition sa phrasal verb, nagbabago din yung meaning. Di ba merong brought about, brought out. Nakalimutan ko na yung pangatlo, pero merong brought about, may brought out. Di ba? So, magkaiba yon. The one thing means, bring up pala yung isa, brought up. Brought up is to raise, to be raised by parents, by your guardians, di ba? So ngayon, yung brought about naman, it means to elicit. Brought out is to cause. So elicit and cause are totally different things. So do you understand how prepositions actually change what you say? For example, there's a bag on the table. and I'm asking you to get my phone. Let's say inutusan ako ng ni Sir Flower. Can you get my phone? Sabi niya, my phone is in the bag. Can you get my phone from in the bag? It's in the bag. Noon pala, the bag, nasa tabi lang ng bag yung phone. So, dapat ang preposition doon beside or on the table. So, you see how prepositions can actually change the meaning? Meron bang mga nawawala dito? Parang may mga nagpapa-admit yata. Okay, so prepositions are important ha. Yung with, yung for, about. Okay. Kakatapos lang natin ng grammar 3. Ngayon, iniisip ko pa kasi kung matutuloy yung lecture natin tomorrow. Kasi kung tomorrow, I already told Sir Kevin, every Tuesday kasi ginagawa namin yung schedule namin dito. Tuesday, just before mag-start yung review, no? Kasi Wednesday yung review. Ganun talaga si Sir Kevin. So, sabi niya, ikaw buong week. Sabi ko, I already made plans for Saturday. It's not even leisure related, it's work related plans. And I said, I can't cover for Saturday. But he's in Cebu, so obviously he can't cover either. So I'm thinking, kung gusto nyo, ang pinaka-possible nating maging time slot on Saturday via Zoom is at 1 p.m. after lunch. But if you guys already have plans, we can move it to Monday.
Yes.
Mas gusto nyo Monday, no? Meaning walang pasok dito ng Saturday. Ang meron lang yung mga mag-e-exam, which is here, yung mga test takers. Okay, sa mga nasa online, gusto nyo rin ng Monday lecture kesa sa Saturday? Yeah, we can do that. I-announce ko tonight kung ano yung plan. Pero definitely, no face-to-face tomorrow. Okay? So, sa Monday, pwedeng face-to-face, pwedeng Zoom lang. Pag-uusapan namin ni Sir Kevin. Pero definitely tomorrow, walang face-to-face. Okay. Maraming sumagot ng Monday. Okay, sige. I'll take note of that, guys. Thank you so much for your answers. Kung napansin niyo sa video kanina na pinanood natin, sobrang dami niyang grammar errors. Paano yun, ma'am? Sabi mo kanina, hindi naman ganun ka-importante ang grammar pagdating sa speaking. Kung hindi naman na maintindihan ng kausap mo yung mga sinasabi mo, kasi sobrang daming accumulated errors. May error siya sa structure, may error siya sa verb tenses, may error siya sa subject-verb agreement, may error siya sa paggamit ng fillers. Problematic yun talaga. Hahatakin nun yung score niya kahit na ang ganda ng iba niyang sagot. Because actually, when your grammar is screwed up, everything else is affected. Your fluency, your cohesiveness in your sentences, definitely. Kasi cohesiveness is the unity and the logical way of answering questions. Paano magiging logical kung yung grammar mo baliko-baliko, di ba? So definitely, nasa structure lahat ng foundation ng comprehension sa mga sinasabi mo. Okay? So, grammar is still important. Ang sinasabi ko lang na maging chill kayo, kasi tayong mga Filipino, kaya na natin ang basic foundation ng English eh. Kumbaga, sa structure na basic, kaya natin. Kasi accustomed na tayo. Unlike sa ibang bansa, I attempted to learn. Ginamit ko yung word na attempt ha, kasi hindi talaga ako nag-focus. I attempted to learn Hangul, which is Korean language. Gumibab ako. Sobrang baliktad ng grammar nila kaysa sa English. It's so confusing. So confusing. Kaya naiintindihan ko yung mga students ko kung bakit nahihirapan din sila sa grammar ng English eh. Kasi it's a totally different concept. Ngayon, ang sinasabi ko lang naman na kaya hindi kayo dapat masyadong kabahan sa grammar kasi kung ang mali nyo lang naman ay articles, ang nagamit mo imbes of an, Let's say, I like eating a orange. Kung isang mali lang naman yon at hindi naman ganun ka-noticeable, that's okay. Chill. Hindi kailangan isa-self-correct mo. Isa pa yun sa mga ginawa nung test taker kanina sa video. So many instances na nag-self-correct siya. Napansin niyo ba? Yun yung parang nagsusorry pa siya. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is gumanon pa siya. 'Di ba? If ever you make a mistake, just let it slide. Correct it in the following answers that you're about to say. Naisip ko na yung gusto kong sabihin kanina. Na kanina nawala. May student kahapon. Sa task 1, tinanong ko siya, are you currently working or studying? He did say that he's studying IELTS, preparing for IELTS. So, ang feedback ko naman is much better not to mention that you're studying IELTS. Tapos sabi niya, ma'am, paano yun? Sabi ni Sir Kevin, it's okay to give a genuine answer. It's okay to say that you're studying IELTS. It's a case-by-case situation. All right? Let's say, may isasagot ka naman sa part na I'm working or I'm studying kasi student ka or you're planning to study abroad and you already know what course or what major you're taking up. Kung meron kang isasagot doon, pwede mo nang isantabi na nag-aaral ka ng IELTS to save you from the examiner asking you more difficult questions. Pero kung IELTS lang talaga yung focus mo sa ngayon at yun lang talaga yung pinagkakaabalahan mo, kesa sumagot ka ng neither of the two, napasok sa short answer, yes, pwede mo nang sabihin, neither of the two, but I'm currently trying to improve my English. I am studying IELTS so that I can get the target band score that I need. Yon, pwede yon. Pero kung may isasagot ka naman about sa work at saka sa study, yun na lang muna yung i-push mo. Okay? So we will proceed to the next mistake after a short break. Okay? Toilet break, whatever break you need. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Available opportunity na dala ko doon o hindi na siguro pwede.
I'm sorry, Valerie. Yeah, I was actually talking, pero I was not talking to you guys yet because we were like huddling here and chumichika-chika kami dito. I'm so sorry. We can continue the chika later. Naghihintay sila kasi. Okay. Recently lang. Hindi ko enough eh. So anyways, we have a couple more mistakes that we're going to discuss. This one is limited vocabulary. This is overwhelming because you might think yun yung pinaka-weak part ko, vocabulary. So, kailangan ko bang basahin yung buong dictionary? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Yun na nga ba yung paraan? A lot of speech coaches would advise you to learn new words every day. But it's not a sustainable practice. Why? First of all, learning, medyo inalis nyo na yun sa vocabulary nyo itself. The practice of learning. Then bigla mong sasabihin sa sarili mo, I will learn 3 new words every day. It is helpful, but it's not the fastest technique that you can do to improve your IELTS score. What you can do is now that you know the flow of the speaking test, you already have the power to anticipate the questions, especially on task 1. At sa tulong na rin ng mga binigay naming materials, yung PDF files, and alam nyo naman na ang scope ng topic sa task 3 ay global news, social issues, environmental topics, topics about technology. Now, yun yung mga kailangan yung i-build na vocabulary. Pero bibigyan ko kayo ng magandang technique. Sa task 1 kasi, all the questions will be about you, your likes, dislikes, your favorites, the places that you've been to, the places that you want to travel to, about your career, about your education, family. Kung gusto mong magkaroon ng magandang foundation sa interview mo, simulan mo sa task 1. Kailangan powerful na yung binibitawan mong words sa task 1 pa lang. When I say powerful, I'm not pertaining to highfalutin words or complex words. Kasi again, meron tayong mga level ha. Sa IELTS terminology kasi, ang levels natin ay band. Band 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm assuming wala namang band 3 dito. Sa assessment ko naman, wala pa namang naka-band 3. So, band 4, 5, 6, 9. 9 being the highest, 4 the lowest amongst you guys. Sa ESL kasi, we name it as beginner, intermediate, advanced, and native speaker level. So, bawat isa sa level na yon may sub-level pa siya. So, low beginner, mid beginner, upper beginner. Now, if you move on to the next step, to the next level, low intermediate, mid intermediate, upper intermediate. Then we have low advanced, mid advanced, upper advanced, and the ultimate highest level is native speaker like demeanor. Okay? So, now, kung alam mo naman sa sarili mo, binigyan ka ng band level ng coach mo on your previous coaching session, you're a band 5 in speaking. That's the time na gagamitin mo lang na words ay practical, casual, and yung akma lang sa level mo. Kasi madidetermine naman ng examiner na, parang pinipilit niya na lang talaga yung words na ginagamit niya. Halata naman sa speech niya, band 5 lang siya eh. Pag pinilit niya yung mga pang band 8, 9 na vocabulary, it doesn't sound natural. So ngayon, kung band 5, 6 ka lang naman, di ko naman sa nilalang, okay? Pero yun pa lang yung level mo, it's okay to use simple vocabulary as long as you're using it in appropriate situations. And the goal is to sound natural. Hindi yung mababa pa lang yung band mo, tapos pinipilit mo na yung mga complex words. You just sound like you want to impress the examiner. But it's not an intellectual test. It's a speech assessment test. It assesses your speaking skills. So, kung yun lang naman yung kaya mong vocabulary, at least na-express mo yung ideas mo, yung thoughts mo in a more natural and flexible way, then just stick to that kind of vocabulary, to that level of vocabulary. Now, if you're a band 7 to 9, you're expected to perform better. Meaning, that's when mag-expect na si examiner na you can handle high-level expressions, such as idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs. Diba? Kasi yun na yung assessment niya sa'yo eh. Okay, this candidate is a band 7.5. So if gumamit man siya ng complex vocabulary, yes, it sounds natural. Yes, pasok siya sa accuracy ng context. You get my point? That's why I want to relieve your pressure. Another technique. Since na-anticipate mo na yung mga tanong sa task 1, you know how to navigate your way to a better answer. Kagaya ng sinasabi ko lagi, filter your answers. Hindi porket yun yung totoong sagot mo, yun na yung isasagot mo. Favorite ko kasi sinigang eh. Favorite ko kasi talaga binagoongan. Madali ba yun i-explain sa examiner if you are going to explain that your favorite food is binagoongan? How do you even say bagoong in English? Shrimp paste? fermented shrimp paste. And na-frustrate ka kasi hindi mo na isama yung word na fermented. Di ba? It's complicating you. So, sabi ko nga kanina, the less you think and the more natural ideas come out of your speech, the better. So ngayon, kung alam mo na ang itatanong sa'yo, what are your leisure activities? What are your hobbies? What are your interests? Kailangan yung mga ganun na paghahandaan na natin. Kaya dun ka ngayon magfo-focus, mag-aaral ka ng cluster of words that can support your answer kapag ang isasagot mo na ay related sa hobbies mo. Let's say ako, I'm really into art. I'm a person who is very creative. If I were to say that my hobby is to create content, video editing, photo editing, multimedia arts, kailangan may baon akong words na kaya kong suportahan yung explanation ko about my interest in multimedia arts. Ngayon, kung sa tingin ko mahihirapan ako dun, siguro ang sasabihin ko na lang my hobby is traveling. Kasi hamak na mas madali ang words about traveling. Do you see the difference?
Yes po.
If I were to become too technical, I'm just putting myself in a situation na ako mismo, parang I'm digging up my own grave, right? But if I choose a topic na hobby ko rin naman yun traveling, mas madali kong ma-express yung ideas ko, marami akong masasabing words related to traveling, I know words related to accommodation and booking and stuff like that. Doon ko mas showcase yung vocabulary skills ko at yung level of lexical resource ko. Kaya syempre, automatically, tataas yung score ko pagdating sa vocab lexical resource, which is 25% of your score. Right? Kailangan lang talaga diskarte. Weigh things. Kaya naman, continuous practice, consistent practice will help you become more aware as to which answers will bring out the best in you. Diba? Kasi may mga answers na pag nagkamali ka lang ng bitaw, wala na. Wala na talaga. Nasabi ko na Tapos bigla mong babaguhin, So it doesn't sound natural. So yun yung technique pagdating sa vocabulary. So hindi mo kailangan, you don't need to waste time and effort in learning too difficult words. Idiomatic expressions, madalas tinatanong sa akin to ng mga students. Okay lang po ba, ma'am, na gumamit ng idioms? Alam niyo po ba yung idioms? Yun yung parang matalinhagang mga salita, figurative language. Gaya ng, it's raining cats and dogs. Akala ko dati, when I was, break a leg. Ano pa ba yung mga alam niyong idioms? She's fit as a fiddle. Teka lang. Kahapon lang nag-aaral kami ng, I'm losing it. Losing it is like, I'm going crazy. I'm losing control. Ganun, okay? Natatawa ako sa student ko kahapon. 2 araw na namin inaaral yung idiom na losing it. Ginagawa niya pa ring literal. Make a sentence using the idiom lose it. Sabi ko. And then sabi niya, teacher, my cell phone, I'm losing it. Sabi ko, okay, let's try again. This time, you're not gonna use the literal meaning. Complicated po ang idioms. Ngayon, if hindi gamay ang paggamit, huwag nang ipilit. Kasi nga, you will end up making mistakes in your grammar and in your vocabulary. Parehong 25% yon. Ayaw mo naman ng more point deductions, di ba? Pero kung sanay ka naman talaga at effortless yung pagbigkas mo or yung paggamit mo ng idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs, then do so. Diba? Kung ikakaangat ng score mo. But the examiner is seasoned well. Seasoned well, parang pagkain What I mean is, mga veteran examiners na yan. Alam nila kapag pinilit mo lang ang isang bagay, alam nila if it comes naturally. You can't fake it. Okay? The moment you start saying a few sentences, the examiner has already gauged your level. So you can't fake it. Okay? Now, this is the major issue dun sa video kanina ng mock test. Pronunciation issues. Some of us have it, some of us don't. Yung iba sa atin, weakness natin ng pronunciation. It's okay because your muscles are trainable. What I'm talking about is your mouth muscles, your tongue, your lips, your jaw. Is jaw a muscle? No, it's a bone. But what I'm saying is part of that face, it consists of your jaw, your teeth, your tongue, your mouth, your lips. All that, it moves because of your muscles. And just like any other exercise, your body parts are trainable. Okay? Isipin niyo na lang yoga. Sino dito nakapag-yoga na? I tried a few exercises kasi when I was training for Muay Thai, my coach incorporated some yoga exercises for after the session kasi kailangan daw mag-stretching. So, he incorporated some yoga exercises. So, kung wala kang magandang flexibility, you can't perform the task well because it takes time. Just like any other muscle in your body, it takes time. Kaya naman, kung may mga foreigner kayong, hindi foreigner, kung may mga kamag-anak na kayo abroad, kung mapapansin nyo, after a few years, the way they talk is different na compared to how they used to talk when they were in the Philippines. Na tayo, na-intimidate na tayo agad kasi parang, yabang naman ito, may accent na agad, oh. Di ba? Parang kukutsain nyo pa. Pero hindi nyo alam, na-acquire na kasi nila yung pronunciation skills na meron yung surroundings nila. That's why immersion is so important in language acquisition. Okay? That's why maraming friends ko until now naartehan sila sa akin or whoever listens to me whenever I order coffee at Starbucks, but I don't give an F. Kung gusto ko ng ganun ako magsalita and that's how natural I speak, I don't really care if people stare. I just do whatever I want. Very IDGAF yung personality ko sa totoo lang. So, ganun talaga eh. That's the way I speak. And you don't have to feel sorry about it. Just embrace it, okay? And for sure, yun naman yung goal nyo eh. When you go abroad, you're gonna migrate there and you will get accustomed. Uy, kakaiba yung mga accent sa yung accent sa New Zealand ah.
Parang sinabi tayo ng
Natatawa ako kasi I had this student, he's from New Zealand. So he was like, I mean, nag-work na siya sa New Zealand for like 6 years or 7, around span of 6 to 7 years. And then, sabi ko, okay, let's have an initial interview. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. It's so difficult. Especially kasi nag-aagaw yung accent niya sa Filipino at saka New Zealand. Okay pa sana siguro kung pure New Zealand accent eh. Pero nag-mix na. Filipino at saka New Zealand accent. Can you imagine that? Pero no shame. Ganun talaga sila magsalita. Very mabilis eh. Tapos iba din talaga yung pagbigkas. Okay, so the key here is, despite the fact that you have a strong accent, let's say Indian accent, South Korean accent, Filipino accent, di ba? Very distinguishable ang Filipino accent. So, okay lang. It's okay to have an accent. But what's not okay is not speaking clearly. And one way for you to do that, to speak clearly, is to make sure that the formation of your mouth is accurate. Okay? Not perfection naman ang ina-aim natin, pero improvement. How are you going to improve your pronunciation issues? There's no other way. Practical application, which is to speak. To speak in English. All right? You can do it alone. You can do it with a partner. You can do it with a coach. As long as there's application. Kagaya lang yan ng kapag meron kang gustong matutunan, ang daming YouTube tutorials nowadays. I want to learn how to make pizza. I watch a YouTube tutorial about how to make pizza. No matter how many videos I watch, hindi ako matututong gumawa ng pizza unless I get into the kitchen and start making pizza. My first few trials will be fail. Definitely, because I'm not a chef and I don't know how to make pizza. But you gotta start somewhere, right? And the thing about people is, pag hindi ka agad nakakita ng results, you quit easily. But that's not the thing. The thing about progress is you really don't see results in the beginning, but if you stay consistent, stay focused, eventually you will. So, you need to lessen the frustration and just keep going, okay? Hesitation and pauses. You know, pauses are actually necessary. Lagi ko sinasabi yan sa mga speech students ko. When you're delivering a speech, di naman yan kailangan tuloy-tuloy eh. Why? Because you have to allow the other person to process the info before you say the next thing. Lalo na kung yung kausap mo medyo slow. Hindi naman sa medyo slow, pero medyo di siya nakaka-catch up ng maayos, 'di ba? Let's say hindi kayo same level ng fluency. So you have to let the person understand first kung ano yung binitawang mong info. Because if you just read something tuloy-tuloy, it won't be processed in the brain, okay? Pero ang kailangan niyo talagang i-avoid is extra long pauses na sobrang tatahimik na talaga. Okay? Okay lang naman sa umpisa, you give yourself 2 to 3 seconds to think about an answer. But longer than that, no. Kasi tinatanong pa lang yung tanong, kailangan nagge-generate ka na ng answers. Okay? Again, balik tayo sa diskarte. 'Di ba? There are two kinds of hesitations in IELTS. First one is content-related, meaning, nagne-negotiate pa yung utak mo. Ito ba yung isasagot ko or ito? Yun yung content-related hesitation, which is understandable at normal. What's not normal is too frequent vocabulary-related hesitation. Kasi, dun talaga bababa yung score mo kapag hindi mo maisip agad yung exact word na gusto mong sabihin. Kasi pinipilit mo magpa-impress sa examiner. Kailangan ko kasi talaga gamitin yung word na to kasi gusto ko umangat yung score ko sa vocab. No, it's not like that. You have to make use of what you have. So if you are to use simple words or language to express your thoughts, at yun lang talaga yung naiisip mo right there and there, it's okay. As long as you describe it. Okay? Again, ang importante, tuloy-tuloy yung sinasabi mo with the right pauses, of course. So, let me give an example. Isa sa mga tinanong ko sa students ko kahapon, part 3 question. Do you think that children's behavior is highly influenced by their parents? Part 3 question yun ah. So if I were to answer that, generic answer muna, and then I will give my own example. Pero kailangan generic answer muna. Why? Kasi sa part 3, hindi lang siya opinion-based eh. Kailangan focus ka sa tanong. Behaviors of parents influencing children. REE. Yes. Parents have direct influence to children's behavior because, according to studies, a person's behavior is molded through their environment. and they would always interact with their parents. Their parents are who they see and talk to on a daily basis. That's why they acquire the behavior from their parents, whether it's negative or positive. I grew up and I was raised by a single mother. I am no longer surprised why I got a lot of my traits from her, because it was just the two of us for the last 2 decades of my life. One of the most interesting characteristics that I got from my mom is that she's a very empathetic person. Whenever we watch movies about families or love, she starts sobbing or crying. And I think I got it from her. My behavior is exactly like her. Whenever I watch a sentimental part of the movie, I easily cry. Another one is her generosity. I would see her be very helpful towards her parents and her siblings. And I think I got that from her too. Because on the last few moments of her life, I saw that everything she invested or everything that she sowed when she was younger and when she was alive, she was able to reap it at the very end of her life, meaning a lot of the blessings that she shared came back even on the last moments of her life. So I really believe that the characteristics and traits that we have right now were highly influenced by our parents. Clear ba yung answer ko?
Yes, ma'am.
Nakita niyo na generalize ko muna yung answer bago ako magbigay ng specific. Okay? And did you also notice that I applied proper pauses? Because if I did not, ang hirap nung process ng information sa taong kausap ko. Okay? So that's how you apply proper pauses. You pause when one chunk of idea is already delivered before you move on to the next. Para naman may clarity, may cohesion. Okay? Ilan na lang ba to? Off-topic answers? Okay. Last na pala to eh. Off-topic. Ito, sobrang problematic ang lahat dito sa off-topic. Kasi, overwhelmed ka sa maraming ideas. At isa pa sa dahilan, iniiwasan mo yung tanong. Kasi ang hirap. Ayan yung kadalasang pagkakamali ng mga candidates. Sa sobrang iniiwasan mo yung tanong, nalilihis siya. Okay? An example is that the question was about describe an unforgettable. No, that's not the question. The question was like, talk about the most recent special occasion that you attended. Yun yung tanong, okay? So the answer was like, last month, I attended my cousin's wedding. It took her and her partner 8 years before they decided to settle down. It was a beautiful moment. And I really wanted to give her a beautiful gift that would remind her of me and how close we are. So I bought my cousin a book for her wedding as a gift. The book was blah, 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 blah. And then the book cost a lot of money, but I saved up for that because I wanted the gift to be so special. Pero wait, bakit gift na yung pinag-uusapan natin? Ang topic is, talk about a special occasion that you recently attended. Yun yung off-topic. Yung akala mo, andun ka pa sa topic, pero iba na pala yung kinikwento mo. So you have to be careful. Okay? So Pag binigyan kayo ng time to think, lalo na sa task 2, focus kayo sa main question. Dun lang naka-align lahat ng isasagot nyo. Yung mga bullet questions, importante yon, pero hindi naman kailangan na parang iisa-isahin mo yung sagot. Kailangan dapat parang nagkikwento ka lang. Okay? Yun nga, isa sa mga techniques on how to focus on the answer, not on branching out to different topics, is the REE method. Okay? Sobrang laking tulong ng REE method. Hindi siya ganun ka-restrictive, and at the same time, you can express yourself well. Okay, we're gonna end with this last slide. Helpful tips: practice daily, record yourself, and get feedback. Okay. Yun din yung tip na binigay ko sa inyo. I'll give a handout, Valerie, later after this class. So, practice daily. The advice that I gave you earlier. Ako kasi, I think doing it first thing in the morning is best. But if you can do it all throughout the day, pwede naman. You're gonna speak in English. Find a partner. Or, if you don't have one, isa sa mga pinaka-effective tools ngayon, AI tools. And I believe sa panahon ngayon, most people are tech savvy. You know how to use AI tools, right? You can actually talk to AI. I do that, and it's not weird. I feel like it's normal nowadays. Kasi all of us are busy. Sino ba naman yung araw-araw kakausapin ka? Pwede na lang kung jowa mo or asawa mo, di ba? Siyempre, interested siyang kausapin ka. Pero if hindi siya interested kausapin ka at wala namang monetary transaction, I don't think that person will spend time talking to you just so you can practice, right? Wag na tayong, even me, I would not accept coaching if it's not paid. Right? Sayang. Because time is money. I could have done other things than to talk to you. But then, kailangan may transaction, diba? That's why help yourself na lang. Okay? Use AI, record yourself, listen to yourself. There are so many online resources. I know online resources could be very overwhelming. Kaya naman, ginawa kong specific. Yung PDF file na sinesend ko, which is all the questions that can actually appear, can possibly appear. Nire-recycle lang din kasi yan eh. All the questions that can possibly appear, practicein nyo yun. Start with 2 cue cards a day. First thing in the morning, after breakfast, syempre, fuel up muna. After breakfast, after coffee, do it. Okay? Hindi ka kulang sa motivation, hindi ka rin kulang sa consistency. Ang kulang sa'yo, structure. Kung hindi sasabihin sa inyo yung gagawin, and you're just gonna do it freely, mahirap. It's not easy to stay on track. That's why if gagawin niyo yung pinagagawa ko sa inyo, after a few weeks, you're gonna see improvement. So, I want you to record yourself from day 1 and to the last day that you're gonna be practicing. And now we will compare. Kung pwede nyo nga lang i-record yung first coaching nyo with your, either me or Sir Kevin, okay yun eh. And then i-record nyo yung final coaching natin. Let's see if there's a difference. Okay? So anyways, guys, wala na tayong klase tomorrow, okay? No face-to-face, no Zoom. If meron ba sa Monday, yun yung isa sa kailangan ko pang kailangan pa namin pag-usapan ni Sir Kevin, okay? Kasi baka siya na sa Monday. Tatanungin ko siya later. But anyways, thank you guys for participating. Miles, Reina, Valerie, Burr, AJ, chat. Thank you for staying. Valerie, yes, I will be sending a handout. Don't worry. See ya next week. Bye-bye.